American tree porcupine, also known as a prehensile-tailed porcupine. And his name is Picante. He is going to be about 5 years old here in a few months. Now, Picante is very much in his feelings. He is a little bit shy, a little bit nervous, but he always has that carrier to go to if he ever feels the need that he's getting a little bit there's too many things happening for him. He really has a wonderful story, and I love this guy so much because he has tested my training brain for the last 4 years. Now, he came to us as part of the SSP. I'm sure you probably heard it today. It's called the Species Survival Program. Think of Match.com meets Ancestry.com. So it's basically kind of a stud book of telling us who our best matches are, and hopefully when we put that male and female together, they'll make a baby. So Picante came here. He met one of our older females. It was not a match. She said, "No way, Jose."
That was Isana.
But then we had a younger female come in named Gracie, and that was the match that was made for heaven. And Picante and Gracie have since become parents, and they have a, what is he now? Probably 7-month-old baby named Paquito, and he is down at one of our sister areas called Africa Rocks Encounters. He's doing training down there and doing very well. And Picante and Gracie here are still together, so we are hoping for another one coming around. A baby porcupine. It's called a porcupine.
Ooh la la.
Cutest things ever. And after this presentation, please Google what a baby prehensile tail porcupine looks like. One of the cutest things in the world, and they're orange.
Is that tail holding
They're a
on?
rusty color orange, and you would think, why in the world would an orange animal be born in the rainforest? But surprisingly, it is really good camouflage. We would come in the morning and I could not find that little baby, but he was just blended in with his perching so well, and I finally understood why that coloration was the way it is. They are not born with those quills hardened, or else mom probably would not be giving birth ever again. So they are very soft, so it's just hair. That's really what the quills are made out of. It's just hair, and with care, it's just the keratin, like our nails, our fingernails, and so they have a little barb on the end, and that's how they release very easily. But do you guys think that the porcupines can shoot their quills? Check it out. This is the best part. Oh, he says no, not right now. The quills, they have a little barb on the end, so they can't actually shoot their quills out. Imagine you trying to shoot out your eyebrows or your hair. Not very possible, right? But what happens is that he can shake, and it kind of sounds a little bit like a snake, but when he shakes, just like our hair, we shed our hair real easily. That's how they can shed their quills real easily, and when they shake, they can fly out a little bit, and that may be where the idea came that they could shoot their quills, but not actually shooting. But what he will do is that if he does feel threatened in any way, shape, or form, just like we get goosebumps when we're cold, we don't tell our body we're cold, make goosebumps. Same thing, they have a muscle inside their body that naturally they can flex that muscle and raise all those quills up, showing you the good side right now, raise all those quills up, almost make themselves look 2 to 3 times bigger than they actually are. But those quills are now going to be raised up in all these different directions. So if anything touches him, just the slightest touch, and it will release super easily on that flesh. Have I ever been quilled? Actually, yes. Not on purpose, though. Picante and I have a kind of a long history, and with this guy, he has 2 speeds, 0 and 100 miles an hour. And when we were first training him, we kind of had to start over and start from scratch with him. So you see that little pole that Jane is holding with the little green ball on the end? That's called a target pole or a lollipop. And really what it is just to tell Picante where to go, follow this target pole, and then when you hear that click, that's telling him that food is going to be coming shortly behind it. Now, when we were first training him, we didn't use these tools yet, and trying to stop a porcupine who doesn't want to stop is a little bit hard and a little tricky. And Brazilian tree porcupines is in their name. We're gonna do it. Here we go. Check out that tail. There it is. Good job, buddy. So having that prehensile tail acts like a fifth hand, and when you live in the trees, okay, you have to hold on to your hand. And when you live in the forest of Brazil, it comes in very handy. Now, you would think this porcupine would want to stay high up on this lovely perching, but his first instinct was to go down to the ground. And when you have a porcupine on the ground who is a little nervous, it's quite terrifying. And when we are right on the side of Balboa Park, and he can basically climb these walls, it's even more terrifying. So it definitely took a lot of patience and a lot of time to get him to this point that we are at right now. And so basically we really tried to teach him going back to that carrier is the best thing you could do. So we could do a whole training session. Here we go. As I say it right here, cue on cue. So basically what we did during his training sessions, he could basically not do anything we asked for the whole session, but if he went into that crate, he got all his snacks. So that crate became one of the most reinforcing places, like he's doing right now, became one of the most reinforcing places ever. So building that history up and that reinforcement history up, that way, if he ever did go to the ground, all we had to do was bring that crate over to him. He saw it, he'd go right inside of it. That gave us a little bit more of a chance to breathe. So when he did go down to the ground, we weren't having to chase him or anything like that. And so really, this is 4 years in the making of him coming out doing presentations like this. But I don't know if you guys notice, but he doesn't like to face you. When he takes his snacks, we try to beat him facing the crowd. He'll grab the snack and he might turn his back to you. So he still gets a little nervous, so he's still training in progress, but we absolutely love him so much. But oh my goodness, could his attitude be completely different from his girlfriend Gracie. Gracie is confident. She will come out on any structure you ask her to. She will stay out for 25 minutes if you want her to. So it is so interesting and lovely to work with these ambassador animals and really see how their personalities are just so much different from each other, even though they're the same species.
I love it.
They couldn't be more different. So we absolutely, absolutely love Picante. But we just say he sits in his feelings a little bit more than Gracie does.
Just because you're on the topic, what was the personality of the older female that was not a good match for him?
The older female Isana, she was a little spicy as well. But she was much older. She was like 12 years old. He was about 2 when we introduced him. She was pretty much set in her ways as well. And so a few things that we could tell, some body positioning, or they do actually vocalize. He kind of makes like a mooing sound. It's very interesting. But they do teeth chatter as well. And when they're chattering their teeth, it's also a sign that maybe stay away from me. That's pretty much your sign not to come any closer to me. So we heard a lot of teeth chattering when he was with the older female. But he is such a sweet boy. Like I said, Gracie does everything. So we will kind of separate them to get their treat cups and stuff, but they get their morning feed together, which is some greens and some pellet. I'll hand him a nice stock of greens, and she comes right over, takes it from him, and he lets her have it. Happy life, happy wife, happy life. So he really gives in to her and lets her have all the treats that she wants. And if she wants the specific perch, he will move out of the way and let her have that spot as well. But here, good boy.
What a
buddy.
sweetie pie.
But we really love him so much. But Brazilian tree porcupines, thankfully, these animals are listed as not concerned. So one of the few down in South America, but hopefully we can keep that way. But one thing we always need to talk about is habitat loss down in the rainforest. Unfortunately, it does affect a lot of species down there. So thankfully, the prehensile tail porcupine is not threatened or endangered, but we just want to make sure we continue to help them with that. Easy things like recycling, reducing, reusing. Things like when you're leaving the house or you're leaving a room, make sure you're turning that light off that's in that room. When we brush our teeth, we turn the water off when we're not using it. Simple things like that we can do today to help animals out in the rainforest and hopefully have a nice long life like this guy will. Naturally, prehensile tail porcupines, if they're lucky, can reach 10 to 12 years old, but under human care, and especially here at the San Diego Zoo, we get breakfast in bed. We have a daily maid service, which are me and Jane, and we have a wonderful healthcare program. They're not waiting 2 weeks to go see the vet or the doctor. Literally, if anything happened to this animal right now, we could call the veterinarians and he would be up to the hospital in less than 5 minutes. So we are really lucky to have such a great team here. It really helps extend the life of our animals and to have an enjoyable life as much as possible. Now, do you guys have any questions about Picante or prehensile tail porcupines? Do you guys see what he's eating and he's dropping all over the ground? You see what these are? Corn. Who else likes corn? Yeah, me too. He doesn't like his with butter though. I love mine with butter. But he is an herbivore, so what he's eating right now, he's got a nice little snacks of yam, corn on the cob. Anything else, Jane? Fig?
Yep,
out in the wild, they would eat berries, they would eat some leaves on the tree, but they also go for the cambium layer, so the deeper part in the trees as well.
So I heard that they always have a nice earthy scent to them.
Is a nice way of saying it. Yes. If you do kind of get that whiff of BO, not me and Jane, I know, promise, even though it's a warm one today. It's not Jane and myself, and it is the animal, it is Porcupine, a lovely porcupine odor. So what Jane's gonna do right now, she actually asks him to go back in. So he can always choose to do it, but he can always, when he's asked to do it, get a lot of treats and snacks as well. So he's gonna go home, he did a really good job. But one of the things that I'm trying to show you with all this corn on the cob on the ground is that's their job in the wild. Is when they're eating their food, drop the seeds or drop any plantings of it, and it helps the rainforest regrow. Well, folks, we're going to stay out here for a few more minutes if you have any questions, but we just want to thank all of you for coming to the San Diego Zoo today. Without you walking through our doors, we cannot do what we do here at the San Diego Zoo, which is global conservation around the world. So thank you all. Check out the 2 o'clock Wega 4th Bowl show. It is right around the corner. Awesome show over there. But again, if you have questions, let us know. But have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.